Here in this second video, our back to school series, we are going to be talking about rules and procedures for the music classroom. Hey guys, my name is Jessie. If this is the first time ever clicking on any of my videos, I'm so happy you're here. I am a kindergarten through 6th grade music teacher, and on this channel, I like to share planning and organizational tips, modern lesson ideas, and also ukulele. All right guys, so we have kind of organized our classroom, and now we got to start with our rules and procedures. And so hopefully, whether you're a new teacher or maybe you're a veteran teacher, there might be something new in here that you guys can use. And I also am trying out some new things this year that I'm really excited about and I'm ready to share. So let's first talk about the kind of main rules that I have in my classroom. And so this year I have had before really simple rules. I've used game plan, if you're familiar with that. I've used their rules before. I've also used just a respect rule, respect yourself, your teacher, your materials, your classmates. But this year I found off of Maniacs in the Middle, she's a TPT seller, I found she teaches science, but she set her rules to songs and they're absolutely perfect. So it's classroom jams. I will link it down below for you guys so you can find it really easily. Almost every rule works perfectly for the music room except for one, but I am going to talk about that in just a moment. So she has the first one is stop, collaborate, and listen, which is like Ice Ice Baby. Second is RESPECT, respect your teacher, yourself, your materials, your classmates. The third one is Don't Stop Believin' by Journey, and it says never give up. And then she had one by Taylor Swift. That's the one I took out. I think it was something about being prepared for class, but obviously with music class, a lot of times we don't need to be prepared. We don't need to bring anything to it. So I took that one out. And then finally, she also had We're All in This Together from High School Musical. And so I was talking about working as a team. And then I added in there from MC Hammer, You Can't Touch This. And I talk about keeping your hands to yourself and also making sure you're not touching instruments until it's okay. So those are going to be my rules this year, and how I've been doing it, and this is the way that she said in her video, because she does teach middle school. So for my upper elementary, kind of like 4th, 5th, 6th, what I did is I put a question mark on the screen and I would play a song. I'd say, okay, you guys, these are, our classroom rules, but we're going to play a game with it. I want you to try and listen to the song and figure out what our classroom rule is based off of it. So listen to the lyrics and let's see if you can figure it out. And so I'd play that first song, Ice Ice Baby, we'd jam, we'd listen to it, they would talk with their group, and then we would get an answer, and most of the time they could figure out kind of what the rule was based off. They gave their answer, and then I would reveal it, and we'd talk about that rule. And we kind of would do that for each one, and it was a really great way. It was about 10-15 minutes, and then we moved on. So upper elementary, we kind of move on after that. I have them displayed in my room and I will reference them as we go. My younger students, I'm actually introducing a rule a day, and I also made a little bit of some chants or some songs that go with them. So not only are we saying them, but I'm actually extending a little bit, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the little section of the songs, I'm going to do the karaoke version, and I'm going to splice them together, and so we can kind of make it a whole chant, a whole song that we sing or we say when we come into music. So I've been slowly teaching them. So I'll say, okay, I'll tell about the first rule, like stop, collaborate, and listen. And then I will teach them, I will play the song so that we can jam out and be like, it's from this, and Vanilla Ice teaches us stop, collaborate, and listen. And then after that, I am going to teach them chant. And so I will have these written out for you guys because I'm still developing it. I'm almost there, but I also forgot my paper that I was brainstorming on. And so I don't even know if I can remember all of them to teach you on here, but I will link it down below. I'm going to send it out to my email list because I'm really excited about it. And I think it's going to be so much fun, and just, make sure we can just start each class for a long time with those rules, that rule chant, and we just keep them fresh in our brain. So for example, the very first one was like, stop, collaborate, and listen, raise your hand. Or the second one, RESPECT, find out what it means to me, respect yourself and teacher, materials, and classmates. Okay, so there's a little flavor of what I have. I have had those fresh in my brain because I just taught them. But yes, I will have that linked below. Let's talk about movement. So the next set of rules that I teach my students is I say, okay, those are our classroom rules. Those are the rules that we need to follow all the time when we're in the music room. But let's talk about when we're moving. We have specific rules to keep yourself safe. So I had learned this in a ORF workshop, and I, for the life of me, can't remember the presenter's name. I wish I could give credit where credit is due. So if you know, please please put it in the comments below because I really want to give him credit. But I think I have over the years changed it a little bit, but this is where I got the idea. So it's perfect. They love it. So the first rule is rule number 1, no bumping. Keep your hands to yourself when we talk about keeping our hands to yourself when we move. Rule number 2, no falling on the ground. Keep yourself safe when we talk about it's not funny to on purpose fall on the ground. Things you have to teach kids because you could get hurt, and I want you to keep yourself safe. And then rule number 3, no following. Be your own person. And we talk about that it can bother someone if you're following them everywhere they go. We need to be our own person, be independent, and find our own pathway. And finally, rule number 4, no talking because you are listening. And we talk about listening to the music. And when we talk, it's really difficult to also listen. So that's why our voice has to be off, so our brain can be focused on listening. And I always just ham it up when I do it. I'm like, rule number 1, no bumping, right? So I just kind of say it in silly voices. And actually we say it, I literally say it every time with K2, K3. Before we move, I say it every single time throughout the entire year. And it really helps. And then quickly, if students are not following those directions, I won't even give a warning. I will ask them to go sit back down. I'll tell them the rule. I'll say, hey, my friend, you're following. Make sure you're not following. I need you to go sit down, and I'll invite you back in a little bit. So they go sit back down on their dot. And I notice if I don't even give a warning, I just start, training kids that making sure like we got to follow these rules. I'm not even going to give a warning. Then they very quickly will notice, okay, she's not playing. Like we need to do it. And then it works out really well, and I don't really have to. I remember my first few years, like I had a lot of challenges with moving and talking because it's just such a thing, and we want to talk about the music and oh, we're being silly. And so I used to give so many reminders, and things would never change. And so it seems really harsh, but like just doing that at the beginning of the year, they really get it. Like, okay, this is really, she's serious. And so it really helps. All right, let's talk about procedures for instruments. So when we get out instruments, I tell them my saying, and I go, everyone. I have a saying, if you play before I say, I take your instrument away. And I don't want to take your instrument away. I want you to be responsible and have fun and play at the right time. But my friends, if I need to, I'm going to, because that is our rule. And it's the same thing with movement. In the very beginning, I take no prisoners. As soon as we're playing before we're supposed to, I will take the instrument away. I will give it back usually I'll let them, sit a minute or two. I will give them back, and if they're sitting quietly and things like that. But again, it's like one of those things, if I just don't even, and right away I'm very firm in my, expectations, it seems like they get it a lot faster. So then after that, when we're getting out our instruments, now I kind of have 2 ways. One way might be if I don't need to give a lot of instructions, I might say, hey, as soon as you get your instrument, start practicing this. And if I'm just handing it out quickly, then I might let them just go right ahead and start practicing. But if I am having a more controlled kind of lesson, I need some silence so I can give some directions as we're doing it. Here's kind of how I do it. So I say, okay, I model it. I do it exactly. I say, okay, if I was going to go get my instrument and I'm sitting on a pink dot, first of all, the teacher would say pink. Okay, so I get up, I'm the pink dot. I go and get my instrument. I don't play it on the way back. And then I sit down in my spot very carefully. I put the instrument on the ground and my hands in my lap. And I wait until it's time to play. So I physically model it, and then I usually get 2 to 3 students to model it before. And I say, okay, everybody, let's watch this friend. Let's see how they do it. Oh, they walked up to the spot. Oh, they got their instrument. Did you notice how they did not play when they went back, right? And then they sit down. I would say, oh, they put their instrument. Oh, wow. And then I'll even point out as we have more model students, I'll say, oh, do you see that first model student? Wow, they're not touching their instrument. They're following directions. Fantastic job. And then I'll have a whole group after that. So maybe I'll have 4 students do it at a time until everyone's got their instrument. And then I reward them instantly because they did such a good job and they did not play until they were supposed to. I say, okay, you guys did such a great job getting out your instruments. You get a 10-second bonus and you get to play your instrument all you want. Ready and go. And so I let them give time to just really explore that instrument and kind of get out. I feel like with instruments, we get so excited and students just, especially there's a lot of instrument things that you only get to play 2 times, right? On the right word or something like that. It's just not enough. They're chomping at the bit. Let them play, right? Explore the instrument. And so I'll usually give a bonus in the beginning if we do a good job, and then also at the end so that they can just kind of get that raw, oh, I just want to play it. They can kind of get that out of their system, and so we can focus on the piece. All right, and finally, let's talk about transitions, especially a transition into a circle. So this year I've made it a little bit easier on myself because I mapped out a circle with pieces of Velcro. And so I can just tell the students you need to find a black piece of Velcro to stand on. So when I do circle dances or movement activities that are in a circle, I come across the same issue time and time again. And that is, as we're moving in the circle, our circle always gets smaller. And as much as I say, watch people's outside shoulder, everyone, if it happens, we don't need to talk about it. We just take a step out. We always have to talk about it. It's always a big deal, and we have to do it multiple times during the activity. So this year, I am making a Velcro circle, and I wanted to let you guys know how to do it, just in case you may be coming across that issue too. You're going to need Velcro. If you have tile floor, use electric tape. You're going to need a measuring tape, and you're going to need a string cut to the length of what you want your circle to be, and a push pin that you can push in for the carpet, or just a piece of tape if you have tile. Next, you're going to cut your Velcro into strips just like this. We're going to take this little push pin, and it's a rope, and kind of about poke it into the carpet around where the center of the room that you believe you want to start your circle. Again, trial and error here. And then you're going to line it up with the first tape or Velcro that you would like to place. Make sure that you have an idea for how many you want in each little quadrant. My biggest class is 28, so I just think to guide myself that I need about 7 per each little quarter. And this is where maybe if you know math, you could figure this out. I just did trial and error. I did 2.5 feet between each tape. So let me show you how I did that part. It did not actually come out perfect, but that's okay. It was perfect. It was perfect enough for me. And so I just added in a few when I needed to. I think I got to 26, and then I just had to like try and put 2 random ones somewhere, and that's good enough for me. But if you want to be really official and figure out that math, you go for it. So my first little tape is here, and what I would do is I would put that 3.5 feet, and it doesn't really matter, again, I've already placed these, but you just kind of put out your 3 or 2.5 feet, and then what you'll do is you'll line this up, and that will be your guideline for making sure that it's out far enough. I did it when I kind of dropped it, that's where I put it. And you're just gonna keep going. Then you would take your tape measure, put it on, and then you would bring this thing with you, you place it, and you place your next tape. And your finished product should look something like this. I hope this helps. If you feel my pain, have a great school year. But the way that I have done it, if that's not an option for you, the way that I've done it for my kind of, again, actually, you know what, I usually do K6, because what I find is things that you learn when you start teaching is if you say, hey guys, let's make a circle, it's gonna be a mess. You know, we're gonna be all moving at the same time. Kids are gonna be switching spots, try and be with their friends, which I get it. We wanna be with our friends. And then usually a lot of times we don't make a circle. Then we all got a comment that we look like a bean or we look like an oval. Like, it's just, there's a lot of things that could happen. So here's how I do it. I have my rows of students, and I will have the first row follow me. And I'll say, okay, everybody, we're making a circle, follow me. And the first row will follow. And I will just start making one big circle. And I say, okay, once the red row is done, orange row follows. And so then yellow. And so we follow an order, and you just follow me, and I just start mapping out a circle. And so it makes a lot of sense. Before I just used to say follow me. I learned this from Joshua Block from ORF, and it's really great, fantastic, but I did have kids pushing and you know, trying to get first or trying to be by the teacher. So instead I have the rows follow in order, and it kind of keeps assigned seats. So if we're having some difficulties in our, you know, circle, we're maybe still being in our assigned seat, which will help. Okay guys, so those are my kind of classroom rules and procedures for each one. I hope that helps you if you are a new teacher, or maybe you got a new idea. Like I said, below I will link that freebie where is going to be the lyrics to my song chant, and also I'm going to try and put the spliced kind of karaoke track on YouTube. I don't know with copyright if they're going to block any of the songs. I have in the past put up copyrighted. I just, you know, can't monetize it, which is totally fine. It's their music. But sometimes there is a certain song that they just won't let you put up at, you know, whether you make money on it or not. So we will see, but I will try my best to put it up here or find a way that I can share it with you guys, because I'm really excited about it. I think it'll be really cool. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.